Okay. So once again, we are getting together to share some knowledge while we are waiting for other people to join us. Let's do some mental activation. See if you have any lessons that you have learned throughout today since we last exercised together this morning at 4 a.m.
Yeah.
or since the weekend 48-hour sharing on cause and effect, causality of life, or since the last week where we talked about gratitude, where we talked about attitude, which is the energy of wisdom. So we're going to close up on, we're going to finish up on the module on wisdom today. Would you have anything to share? Any lesson, any impression or insight in your realization?
Just now that I know a little bit more about wisdom, life's getting easier for me.
Oh,
I let things go a little more. I don't let it fog up my mind. I used to let it bother me and not appreciate everything as what it is. Now I have gratitude and appreciation towards my life a little more, and that's thanks to the wisdom. Thanks to wisdom.
Yeah, life seemed to be a little bit more simpler.
Yes.
Right. Not so much drama.
No drama.
Simplicity can bring peace. Right. Simplicity can bring some peace. Simplicity can bring lightness. Can bring some.
Another thing that made me happier is Hua was talking. What was her name? Remember she's
Women.
Yeah, she said I will be getting an interview soon.
Oh, so finally. Hi, Ji-Hua.
I've been so busy.
Yes.
Exams and May was
Make sure both of you are on the interview. So just because Ron signed up for the mentor interview, make sure Ji-Hua is in there. Last time I think when my wife and I we signed up for Mentor 5 and she got the notice and I didn't get the notice, and so I texted Go Women, and she said both of you should be in an interview together, so they can see the reality of what it's like to have wisdom and knowledge and philosophy, and see the kind of value that you're going to contribute, especially together. A lot more power creating value in the world than just by yourself.
Yeah.
Noted. Thank you.
So when is the interview? Do you know that?
I don't know the date yet, but soon.
Okay. Soon. Okay.
Yesterday we have a class in Mentor 6, a 6 class. And then I asked her that Ron is waiting for her answer, and she said, "Yeah, interview very soon."
Yeah, they don't miss anybody. Okay, they never miss anybody.
Yeah,
you have good loads of foreigners coming in for Mentor 7, so it's very good.
Yeah, see if you can make it a bit of a little project or mission to connect all of them. Okay, connect all of them and see if we can get them together for something like this. We can even take turns sharing. Okay, so maybe one day me, another day Ji-Hua and Ron, you guys share what you learn from your classes, and we can take turn. We can definitely take turn sharing knowledge.
Yes.
Or even the fact that you just speak up, sharing your lesson and impression and insight, it's also a lesson for other people, right? Just or this is called transferring of reality. When we share our reality, we cause other people to experience the same kind of reality. We may not have mastered the methodology of sharing, but just sharing your reality, it can cause other people to transform and experience that breakthrough. Some people, I'm not so good with the sharing of my own reality. Some people are a lot better with it. My wife, for example, earlier today, my wife and I went to meet somebody, a family member, and we were talking about some random things, and we were sharing the value of a course on cleansing, mind and body cleansing. And I was just trying to explain the methodology on a scientific basis. But when my wife described the experience, it becomes very real to the other person. Some people are logical, some people are intellectual and conceptual, and they appreciate the logical explanation the way I do it. But some people are not so logical, they're very visual. My wife described, cleansing our body and the physical involved in it, and it became very real to the other person. And the lesson I've learned from my wife in that interaction with our friend is that at any given moment, we are engines of value creation. We are value connector. Remember those 9 types of people. So now, whenever we have anything of value, we just share it. We just talk about it. And I've learned to pay a little bit more attention to the reality transference, in addition to just the conceptual sharing and walkthrough. So yeah, I got a great lesson from my wife today. And while we're here, I just might as well want to share my honoring gratitude to my mother, which is our son's grandmother. When he was born, my mother gave him a tablet of gold. Okay, một lượng vàng. It is, I think, I don't know how many an ounce of gold or something like that. And we've been keeping it for like 10 years now. But today we decided to take that as a seed and plant it. And we plant it by, investing it in some project, a startup project that we strongly believe that it's going to grow into a tree and will bear fruit.
Wow.
And by doing that, I feel this strong touch and great. I was what is that? Touched by, honored by, and grateful for. I was honored by the fact that I have a mother who gave us this seed, this gold seed, and very grateful that she has worked hard and given us that seed. And we have committed, my wife and I, we have committed in investing that seed into what we believe is going to be a successful business venture. And in my mind, I have a mental image of that seed growing to make a lot of money, contributing a lot of value to not only my son, but to other people. Earlier this morning, I went to the dentist. Okay, the dentist did some fillings. Where previously, before I studied philosophy, I was thinking of going to the dentist only to solve problems, right? Fixing my teeth or filling in cavities. But today, as I was lying there with my mouth open, I felt this overwhelming sense of gratitude and appreciation, knowing that I am touching up this instrument of value creation. So my teeth is not just something that I use to chew food. It is something to ingest energy. It is used to speak. It is now a tool of value creation. It is a tool for the gift of our appearance, a gift of our smile. So I feel very, very touched and honored by the dentist who took great care in touching up my teeth, did some fillings. And yeah, so today I am filled with the energy of honoring gratitude. Yeah, and I'm very honored by your continued participation, and Ron and Jihua. I'm always grateful, especially in the morning when you're willing to get up and exercise with me. Okay.
I know I set my alarm for 4, but I get up at 5 to 4.
I have to set mine at 3, and I have to snooze several times.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Morning's not my strongest suit.
Hello, Ambi. Thank you for joining our Zoom. Okay. Ambi is my spirit of fortune. I always tell her I don't have to be rich. I just have to marry a woman who knows how to get rich. And that's what she's gonna do to our family.
Oh, Ombe is your wife?
Yes, she's gonna make us rich.
Oh,
Not only rich financially, but rich in attitude and wisdom. Rich in character and integrity. So very grateful for Ambi.
Sin
Spent to
Chow.
5 with me.
Is it Sin Chow, Ombe?
She's probably driving.
Yeah.
Probably picking up a son from after school or something like that. But anyway, since nobody else is joining us, let's get started. Okay.
Okay.
Oh, hello, Ambi. Hello, Minh Đức.
Chào Ron, chào Ron.
Hi,
Ông Bi
Ambi.
đang ông Bi driving the car.
Yeah.
Did you
Beautiful.
guys check your tracking? I sent you a package, Ron and Jihua. Did you check your tracking?
I'm going to check now. I saw your message. I haven't checked yet.
It's Thursday, Thursday the 26th. So between 9 a.m. and 1 p.m. That's tomorrow. So you don't get it until tomorrow.
Oh,
Okay.
oh, wow.
Okay, you get it tomorrow. Mhm.
You think?
Okay, so let's get started with today's sharing.
Cái tiếng ở trên Zoom á.
Okay. Hi, Minh Đức. Hi. Hi. You're gonna listen in, right? You're gonna listen in? Yeah? Gonna learn something today? Okay, good boy. All right. So, so far, we have been studying wisdom. Okay? Wisdom is this candle in our house of holistic health and a house of holistic wealth. The goal is to expand our awareness about ourselves, awareness about other people, about health, about happiness, about relationship, and about finance. Why? So that we can create a life of good health, peace, happiness, right? Those are the fruit that we would like to bear, that we would like to reap. And in order to reap the fruit of great health, the fruit of happiness, the fruit of great wealth and peace, we'll go about planting a bunch of seeds. 7 seeds. The first seed is the seed of wisdom. As we study wisdom, where's my wisdom? As we study wisdom, we simplify it. Whereas wisdom up to now seemed to be that strange, intangible concept that we attribute to very highly intelligent people, some really complicated concept, difficult to grasp. But in this philosophy, we were able to simplify wisdom. Right? Wisdom is simply understood as levels of inner awareness. Okay, there are only 5 levels of inner awareness to deal with. Pretty simple. Okay, we already went over level 1, level 2, level 3 awareness and wisdom. Right, level 1 awareness has to do with the inner awareness that people, things, circumstances, phenomena are good or bad, true or false, should or should not, like, dislike, etc. And the person of level 1 awareness, once they can initiate level 1 wisdom, they will pick and choose the good over the bad, the should over the should not, the right over the wrong. That is level 1 wisdom. And then if a person can if a person can go up to level 2 awareness and wisdom. Ron, would you like to state that one? I know you'd like that one. What is level 2 awareness and wisdom?
That was the root cause of my life.
The root cause of life begins with me. Okay, or the root cause of life originate from within me. And I don't need to blame myself or other people. Okay, the root cause of life begins with me, but I don't need to blame myself or other people. And from the root cause of life begin with me, which is a level of awareness, if we can initiate the wisdom level 2, then from the root cause of life begin with me, wisdom level 2 is creation. Because it originated with me, I create. And how do I create? How do I create? How do I create my life, Ron? With level 2
By
wisdom.
making my own choices, better choices.
There you go. Okay. Now, of course, if it's just better choices, then that's right or wrong. Okay, better, bad, good or bad. It is not about better choices. It is from emptiness, from nothingness, I create a new possibility. Remember the interaction about the pen, okay? The essence of all things are empty, and thereby it has a potential to become anything. If it's already bad and you're trying to make it better, that's level 1. Okay, if it's already bad and you're trying to improve it, that's level 1 wisdom, awareness, and wisdom. But from emptiness, a pen has a potential to be anything because it's essentially empty. Who I am is nobody. And because I am nobody, then I can have the potential to become anybody. And thereby it is a process of creation. And we create by inventing new mental images, new picture, new hearing, new seeing, new saying, and new knowing. We can start to monitor what we hear and what we see. We pick and choose what we hear and what we see. And then we create what we literally say, and that makes up what we know. In the Bible, it said, and God said, let there be light. Okay, God said, let there be light. It is a saying, the expression that creates. And human being, guess what? We do have the same construct. We have the will to hear, the will to see, the will to say, the will to know, and simply saying, we actually create our reality. That is level 2 wisdom. Okay, so if we create mental images that is favorable, that is desirable, that is positive, then we are going to basically plant the seed of positivity, and that seed of positivity will grow into a tree and will bear fruit of positivity. And when we reap the fruit of positive life, it is the good life. It is desirable life. Okay, so that is level 2, awareness and wisdom. Level 3, awareness and wisdom. Do you remember what that's about?
That is, I was just thinking about it. I had it all done. That is the emptiness.
There you go. Okay.
You just mentioned it while you were talking about level 2.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so when you initiate level 2, we are actually, we touch upon level 3. Okay, because with level 3, it is a state of inner awareness of the emptiness of being. Okay, from emptiness of being, a person of level 3 wisdom has a state of inner awareness such that things, events, circumstances, phenomenon, and people are essentially empty. Okay, that's level 3 awareness. And
the empty,
level,
you won't
yeah.
have level 3 wisdom.
And with level 3 wisdom, what we do is we welcomely receive. Okay, we actively, proactively, welcomely receive whatever message that come into our being. Before we had level 3 awareness and wisdom, we let any message come into the emotion and we react. We let a message come into the mind and we start thinking, analyzing, and distinguishing. But with wisdom level 3, we recognize, we are aware that there is a state of emptiness of being. And whatever message that we receive, whether what we see or what we hear, what people say to us, if we don't let it get charged by the mind or the emotion, it does not take on a positive or negative charge. It is empty, and we just welcomely receive it. And because it's not positive or negative, it does not take on any charges, and we just welcomely receive it. And it is empty. It is light. It is both lightness in the sense of not having weighed down by drama or meaning. It is also has a scent of light in terms of light of wisdom, high energy, highly balanced. So when we receive any message with wisdom level 3, we maintain a state of highly energized balance. And if we can maintain that highly energized state of balance, we experience a feeling of serenity, which is inner peace. Okay, serenity. And serenity is one of the three attitude or one of the three energy of wisdom. Okay, one of the energy of wisdom is serenity, inner peace. If we cannot be at peace, then at least we can lower our energy down to level 2 and initiate magnanimity. Because root cause of life begins with me and I don't need to blame anybody, then I can afford to be magnanimous. I can afford to be generous and compassionate with other people. That is level 2 energy corresponding to level 2 wisdom, which is the attitude of magnanimity. Okay, it encompasses compassion, it encompasses generosity, it encompasses tolerance. And then if we are encountering a problem, okay, in life, if we're encountering some undesirable circumstances, or even if we don't encounter any undesired circumstances, we could also rotate among the three energy and initiate the energy of honoring gratitude. If we encounter something that is undesirable, we don't focus on the undesirable part. We try to draw a lesson from that and be grateful for the lesson. Or even before we can draw the lesson, we shift our attention away from the negativity and find something else to be grateful for. That's when I encounter a challenge or somebody challenged me or a difficult situation. If my mind is so negative by the situation, it's sometimes difficult to turn the situation positive. I just shift my mind away from that and find something else to be grateful for. If I'm at work and my boss reprimand me for something, maybe I think it's right, maybe I think it's wrong, doesn't matter. But that at that moment, it is a negative state. Instead of focusing on the fact that I was reprimanded by my boss or I got into a disagreement with a coworker, instead of focusing on the negativity, I shift my attention away onto something else that I can be grateful for. I'm grateful that the fact that I still have a job. I'm grateful that I have enough health to get to work. I'm grateful for just random things, the car to drive to work, the computer that's sitting in. I wrote a piece of paper on my computer and I attached it to my computer, say, be grateful for someone and something right now. So always at any given moment in time, I remind myself to maintain the energy of honoring gratitude. And once our energy is positive enough that it goes up to, let's say, level 2, then root cause of life begin with me. Then I don't need to blame my coworker. I don't need to blame my boss. Then I can start creating new possibility. And then I can continue to honor and be grateful for the lesson. Okay. So wisdom is having to be able to cycle through different levels, level 1, level 2, level 3, able to cycle through different attitude of serenity, attitude of magnanimity, attitude of honoring gratitude. Okay. And so today, before we wrap up and talk about the materialization of wisdom, let's finish up with level 4 and level 5. Okay, I haven't talked about level 4 and level 5 for a while because it's never quite find it appropriate, the timing and then the energy wise. Because really, the only way to talk about level 4 and 5 is to have gone through level 3. Otherwise, it wouldn't make sense. And when I get the sense that Ron and Jihua, you guys have sort of attained that level of level 3 wisdom. Okay, you have enough serenity and inner peace, and you are magnanimous. And you are so full of honoring gratitude that it becomes appropriate to talk about wisdom level 4.
Once you feel what level somebody's at, there's no point talking about level 2 or 3 until you've talked to them about level 1.
Yeah.
They know what's right and wrong, and yes.
Mhm. Or sometimes a person is so stuck in level one.
Mhm.
If we are stuck with them, if we argue with them about right or wrong, then we're dragged down by them. Right? Have you ever been in a situation where somebody is so argumentative that they insist on arguing? Even what's interesting is sometimes even when we agree with them, they still want to argue. and so in cases like that, as a mentor, as a coach on the inner being methodology, we have to raise their level to level 2 and level 3. We have to help them give up the need to argue, give up the need to be right. We can help them take responsibility for the root cause of their life. And then once they get level 2, then they will just kind of give up level 1. Or sometimes just talking about the truth within, we can help a person discover that sense of peace, get to level 3, and they don't even bother with level 1 or level 2. Right? So we don't let ourselves be pulled down by another person's to their level. We know it. If we need to talk to them, we may have to come down to their level in order to speak to them. But through speaking to them, we expand their circle of knowledge so that they can go up to level 2, level 3. It's the rotation, when needed, when appropriate. Okay.
It's like at work, I have this coworker who was always negative.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, he seems like a grumpy guy. I've worked with him for so many years, and
Okay.
I get new people that come into work, and they're scared of him. They
Mm.
think, oh, he's grumpy, but I said, just ignore it. And if you just ignore him, he's actually a really nice guy.
There you go. Yeah.
The perception that he gives to everybody else, like he's a big grumpy guy, and everybody's scared of him, but he's not really like that. And after they get to know him a bit, they all calm down.
Yeah.
They're
Yeah.
yeah.
There is a lot of power in maintaining balance in attitude and wisdom, because from a vibrational energy frequency perspective, we can actually harmonically stabilize other people. When we speak to a person who is supposedly negative and we are able to maintain balance and positivity, it is possible to infect them with positivity.
Mhm.
It will actually, one or two things will happen. If our energy of balance and positive is strong enough, one or two things will happen. Either they will be infected by it, or they will find it so incompatible that they will just not want to be in your presence. They will have to hide from you. Yeah, they'll actually cut off the conversation. If they're trying to be argumentative and we maintain balance and positive, and we maintain serenity, magnanimity, and we honor, then they will either find it so distasteful that they will leave your presence, or they will actually be infected and they will actually be at peace. They will find honoring gratitude at the same time.
That's like
So
when I'm to him, he when he's in one of those moods, I just bring something up that he likes. He loves
there
golf.
you go.
Golf
Yeah,
changes his whole attitude for the rest of the day. So
yeah. Perfect.
yeah.
Beautiful. Okay, so let's talk about wisdom number 4. Okay.
I just have to grab my pens and notebook.
Okay. Okay.
It's so clean.
Yeah, we can open something.
Okay. Let's talk about wisdom level 4. Okay. Now remember, when we talk about wisdom, we split up the awareness and then the wisdom. Okay, so because wisdom is simply understood as a state of awareness. Simply having that state of awareness is wonderful. Okay, it needs a certain degree of blessings and merit, a certain degree of good fortune to experience that state of awareness. But of course, from awareness, we can proactively choose to initiate wisdom. That is more proactive. With the wisdom level 4, okay, wisdom level 4 is a state of inner awareness called automatic knowing. So let me restate that. Okay, the state of do this. Let's do this. I'm just writing down. I'll write the whole definition. The state of inner awareness level 4 is the state of automatic knowing of the inner being. Okay? The state of inner awareness, level 4, is a state of automatic knowing of the inner being. The state of inner awareness, level 4, is a state of automatic knowing or auto knowing of the inner being. Okay? That's just a state of awareness. We just have a certain state of awareness that automatically know. Now we're going to define the wisdom level 4. So we can say it in the form of a person of wisdom level 4. A person of wisdom level 4 is a person who has the state of inner awareness that automatically knows to speak, automatically knows to act appropriately with present circumstance. So that, yeah, I'm not going to write it. It's too long. Okay. If you want, you can write it down. A person of wisdom level 4 is a person who has the inner state of awareness that automatically knows to speak, automatically knows to act appropriately with present circumstance. So auto knowing what to say and not automatically knowing what to do. Okay? It is a person who can access knowledge and understanding exceeding what the self has heard, has seen, has said, or has known in the past. It is a person who can access knowledge and understanding exceeding what the self has heard, has seen, has said, or has known in the past. It is a person who carries an electromagnetic wave energy that connects with a higher dimension of intelligence or with advanced space civilization. It is a person who carries an electromagnetic wave energy that connects with a higher dimension of intelligence or with advanced space civilization. Okay, so I'll read the whole thing again. With the state of awareness, okay, the state of inner awareness, level 4, is a state of automatically knowing of the inner being, whereas the person of wisdom, level 4, is a person who has a state of inner awareness that automatically knows to speak, automatically knows to act appropriately with present circumstance. It is a person who can access knowledge and understanding that exceed what the self has heard, has seen, has said, or has known in the past. It is a person who carries an electromagnetic wave energy that connects with a higher dimension of intelligence or with advanced space civilization. So, has anybody here ever experienced a moment in time where you just know what to do or know what to say? Especially when you have had no prior experience in solving that situation. Have you experienced anything like that? Where something happened and you just kind of know what to say and know what to speak. And then afterward, you realize, wait a minute, I have never encountered that before. I had no knowledge, previous knowledge. How did I just know what to say and know what to do? Have you experienced anything like that?
Just what I explained earlier with my friend there,
Mm-hmm.
knowing that what makes him change his mood,
Okay. Yeah.
bringing something positive into what he likes.
Yeah.
And know, I guess, kind of knowing and not knowing that it was,
Yeah, it's actually interesting because this state of auto knowing does not come from thinking.
Mhm.
If we have a lot of experience in dealing with people, if we have already, let's say, studied this philosophy for numbers of months, we kind of know how to respond to a negative situation because we already learned level 1, level 2, level 3.
But you're
So
not knowing.
we already know from knowledge
Yeah.
what to do, what to say. But have you ever been in a situation where you just kind of know what to say or what to do, and afterward you realize, wait a minute, I'm not supposed to know what to do and what to say in that situation? That is awareness and wisdom level 4.
Mm.
It does not actually come from thinking. It does not come from knowing what we know in this lifetime, because it actually comes from emptiness. Sometimes a person will reach let's say a crisis situation, and they don't know what to do. They have never been in that crisis situation before. They have never been trained, but they just automatically know what to do that is appropriate. They automatically know what to say to another person. And it comes from a state of serenity. At that moment in time, instead of being trapped by strong emotion, let's say fear and panic, or even strong emotion like love and compassion and sympathy for another person, instead of all of that, the mind doesn't think, the mind doesn't analyze. There is a sense of emptiness. And from that emptiness, somehow we just know what to say and know what to do that is appropriate. And then afterward, we think back and we realize that we're not supposed to have known that or have been able to do that because we have no prior training. That is wisdom and awareness level 4. And wisdom level awareness and level 4 awareness and wisdom can only be accessed when we are already at wisdom level 3. It cannot be accessed with thinking. It cannot be accessed with feeling, because remember the let me see, this diagram, this map of the human being, right? You can think of emotion as level 1. We react to things that are right or wrong. The mind, we start to analyze. But when we reach level 3, which is this emptiness of being, this inner being here, our mind is empty. There's no thought, right? Because as long as we can start thinking, we judge right or wrong, good or bad, then it is we sank down to level 2 and level 1. But when we are in level 3, our mind is empty. We just know that we know and hear that we hear. And then from that emptiness, we are able to somehow access knowledge that we have not accumulated or cultivated in the past of this lifetime. So, in other words, when we are balanced, then we can access, when we when we're balanced, there is remember the vibrational energy interaction about vibrational energy frequency. I think it's important to review that part. So, do you remember? We spoke about this during the offline over the weekend, as well as in the the discussion on human construct. The idea of vibration, no energy frequency. And then we have the associated inner state. Remember, if our let's say inner state is negative, negative. Okay, if our inner state is negative, what kind of vibrational energy frequency do we express? If our inner state is positive, what kind of vibrational energy frequencies do we express? And what happens when our inner state is highly balanced? I draw that sort of wavy equal sign. When we are highly balanced, what kind of vibrational energy frequency do we express? Do you remember? Low, high, or ultra high? Remember that?
Super high.
Yeah. So if we are negative, we are considered low vibrational energy frequency. When we are positive, we are considered high. And when we are balanced, we are super or ultra high. Okay. Well, guess what? In a state, 5 levels of wisdom correspond to 5 inner state. And inner state, so okay, our inner state determines our vibrational energy frequency, and our inner state is determined by our awareness and perception. Okay, awareness and perception. So 5 levels of awareness. If we can raise our levels of awareness, then we can elevate our inner state. If we can elevate our inner state to balance and positive, then we are going to vibrate at a high and super high energy frequency. And when we are vibrating at high and super high energy frequency, we access knowledge that at a order of magnitude higher. And those knowledge does not come from what we have learned in this lifetime. And while we're here, I'm just going to add the awareness and perception. We receive that our state of awareness and our ability to become aware of some things, our levels of awareness and wisdom, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, determined by our what's called spiritual
Get some light or you good?
fortune. Okay. Remember the spiritual fortune? We have one spiritual fortune relating to bad deeds, another spiritual fortune relating to good deeds, a spiritual fortune relating to wisdom, merit, So when we do a lot of good deeds for other people, applying the golden rule, do to others what you will have them done unto you. If you do a lot of good deeds to other people, our awareness and perception will be more positive. Our inner state will become more positive. Our energy will become high. And as our energy becomes high, our life experience this is life experience is desirable. Right? People are positive, desire. Let me say desired, because I already wrote the word desired. People who are positive generally experience life that is more desirable. If we have performed a lot of bad deeds, our awareness and perception is going to be pretty poor. Our inner state tend to be negative. Our vibrational energy frequency tend to be low. And therefore our life experience tend to become undesirable. Desirable. Desirable. Interestingly enough, this part is easy, right? Bad deeds and good deeds, that's easy. Negative and positive state, easy. Low and high vibrational energy frequency, the undesirable life and desirable life, that's simple. But interestingly enough, if we have accumulated a lot of wisdom merit, our awareness and perception will reach a state of emptiness. Our inner state become very balanced. We experience serenity as a result. Our vibrational energy frequency is super high, and our life experience is actually neither desirable nor undesirable. But that's okay because we don't care. When a person achieves a state of highly balanced, we don't care if our life is desirable or undesirable. What we experience instead is what we get instead is clarity. What we get is some sort of enlightenment. Clarity. Yeah. Because desire and okay, whether life is desire or undesirable, that's just a level 1 awareness, judgment, and it's stuck in the mind and the emotion. But when we reach a level of highly balanced, super high energy frequency, we experience emptiness. And so when the message comes in, it's empty. Our life is neither desirable nor undesirable. But instead, what we get. I'm sorry, go ahead.
You just know that you heard it and you see it.
Yeah, I just know I see and I know I hear. And not only we have the benefit of serenity, what we get next is clarity, so that when we go back down to level 2 and level 1, awareness and wisdom, the choices that we express ourselves, what we say and what we do, tend to become more positive. Oh. When from balance we go down to positive. When balance we go down to positive, we tend to make better choices.
So you hear and you see it. If you have level 4 wisdom, you can speak it.
There you go. Okay. Level 4. Okay, so let's talk about level 4 wisdom. Okay. To actually speak to actually speak, we have to use words, but words fall into the realm of human intelligence, which is actually the mind and emotion. Okay, it is the mind and emotion. But the knowledge, the source of the knowledge that comes from level 4 wisdom is, let's talk about that one. Okay. Okay. So, what did we say? We said that the person of wisdom level 4 is a person who has the state of inner awareness that automatically knows what to speak, automatically know how to act appropriately with present circumstances, is a person who can access knowledge and understanding that exceed what the self has heard, has seen, has said, or has known in the past. Okay, so let's talk about that. What does it mean to have knowledge that exceed what we have heard, seen, or said, or not know, okay, in the past? So knowledge knowledge. There seems to be, with wisdom level 4, knowledge seems to have two sources. Well, before not wisdom, knowledge in general. Before wisdom, knowledge in general. There's knowledge that has been taught by teacher, right? The stuff that we learn in school, taught by teacher. The stuff that we learn from our parents, taught by teacher. The stuff that we read books, watch TV, read Facebook. All of those knowledge have been taught by another person that we call a teacher. Interestingly enough, with wisdom level 4, we access knowledge that doesn't seem to have been taught by any teacher. So, no teacher. Okay? We just automatically know what to say, automatically know what to do without having prior experience, without having been taught. So with wisdom level 4, our knowledge comes from no teacher. So to further understand awareness and wisdom level 4, we need to understand the concept of taught by a teacher and not taught by a teacher. Okay, taught or untaught. Another way of saying is taught or untaught. Okay, so let's use another paper. So here we're going to say untaught knowledge.
Frank, I'm just
Yes.
going to dinner, but I'm listening.
Okay,
He's listening.
no teacher.
Oh,
Okay.
Yeah.
So there has been many reports of people after experience some kind of trauma. Maybe they get hit by lightning. Okay. Maybe they get into a nasty accident. They may go into a coma, and then when they wake up, they are able to somehow speak a different language, completely fluent in a different language. Or they are able to play a musical instrument that they have never learned or practiced before. They become a piano virtuoso overnight without having practiced or learned. Have you guys heard about anything like that? Somehow, a person, after having experienced some kind of traumatic experience, would wake up and come to knowledge, fluent, total possession, mastery of certain knowledge that they have never practiced in this lifetime. Somehow, if we get struck by lightning or something like that, the energy may jump their vibrational energy frequency to a higher level, that they are now compatible with knowledge from another dimension, or at least from another source. Some people wake up with memories of being somebody else, or they have memories of other people. Well, science cannot fully understand this. Science does acknowledge the fact that the human mind is much vaster, more vast than what we are able to consciously make use of at this point. Okay, our human brain, we're using only about 5 to 7% of our brain, and a lot of that is used to keep us alive, to keep us breathing, keep our body functioning. And only a small part of our brain is actually used for conscious thought and knowledge. So somehow a person of level 4 awareness and wisdom are able to access knowledge that is beyond what they have learned in this lifetime. There's two sources of untaught knowledge. Okay. One is from what we call total causal knowledge. Another source is advanced intelligence sometimes you can call it space civilization. Okay. If you're a scientifically minded person, you can call it, advanced intelligence, higher intelligence. But there are times when a person will experience knowledge that is somehow given to them from maybe, like they get it from a dream, like from some spiritual being. Okay. Religious people can report that they receive a message from an angel. Spiritual people say they receive messages from the Virgin Mary. When the Virgin Mary appeared to when the Virgin Mary appeared to some children in Fatima, she gave them knowledge of the future. They knew when the Cold War between the United States and the Soviet Union would end. They know when the Berlin Wall will fall. They know when the Pope, John Paul II, will be shot. Knowledge that there is no way for them to have known. Okay, knowledge of the future. With advanced intelligence or space civilization, it usually relates to scientific inventions. Take Leonardo da Vinci, right? Leonardo da Vinci is a scientist, a philosopher, an artist from hundreds of years ago. And it is only now that we have discovered that Leonardo da Vinci somehow had invention that were 100 years beyond his lifetime. He understood the helicopter back when everything was still made of wood. Leonardo da Vinci is one of the ancient scientists who somehow seem to have been able to access knowledge that is way, way beyond the knowledge that of his lifetime. There's no way he could have learned any of that because nobody before him had that kind of knowledge. Nikola Tesla is known to have reported that he would experience bouts of severe headache. And after the bout of severe headache goes away, he would have visions of invention that we are only now beginning to understand. Nikola Tesla. Even scientists like Einstein. Before Einstein, we had a Newton's law of gravity. Everybody understood gravity as a force, and we operated perfectly fine with it. But Einstein somehow had the insight that gravity is not a force. It is the nature of space and time as a continuum. And if you can understand space and time as a continuum, you can understand many, many things about our world. Everything from atomic energy to space travel to light energy and time and all that stuff, black hole and things that the scientist community is enjoying nowadays came from Einstein's breakthrough in understanding space and gravity. Nobody taught that to Einstein. He could not have put that together based on whatever knowledge he has accumulated based on the knowledge of mathematics and physics at that time. It was a breakthrough in understanding about our physical world, space and time. So with those scientific knowledge, it can be said that human being, we downloaded. Those individuals, they downloaded from a higher dimension, from a civilization that is, the knowledge that has been stored in a higher dimension. A comparison would be like the knowledge that we download today from the internet. Before 1995, there was no internet. Before 1995, if a typical human being like you and me wanted to get some knowledge, we had to go to a library, we had to open a book and read it. Or we had to come to another person who teach it to us, right? Everything was written on paper. But now, some 30 years later, if we want any knowledge, we just go on a computer and we access the cloud. We access the server. As far as we're concerned, there's nothing physical about it. We cannot put our finger, we cannot actually put our hand on that knowledge. It sits somewhere in the cloud, right, in somebody else's server, thousands of miles away, and in an instant, we can access almost the totality of human knowledge. Any kind of knowledge, we just ask Google, ask ChatGPT, and as human being, it's an individual, we can access it. Why? Because we now have a tool, we have the computer, we have the phone that is vibrationally, energetically a match for the knowledge that is out there on the Google server. Right. So as human being, at this point in time, we are basically able to access knowledge that is beyond what we have taught. We simply download it. Whatever we want to know, we just download it, just ask a question, and we have an instant knowledge of it. And so similarly, whereas as normal human being, we have this computer, we have the phone that has Wi-Fi, right? Wi-Fi is a vibrational energy frequency. That is a match for the internet. The match for a modem, the modem is a vibrational energy frequency match for the internet. And we gain access to knowledge. Then it could be also said that as a human being, we are also an instrument of knowledge access. So when a person, their mind, their body is of an energy frequency that is high enough, they can access knowledge from a different cloud, a higher advanced civilization. Okay? And those knowledge come from a higher advanced civilization, maybe some space civilization, we don't know. Maybe some another dimension, we don't know, probably another dimension. Just as the internet is a new dimension compared to just paper books, right? Paper book is physical, just space, physical, three-dimensional space. But the internet seems to be like a fourth dimension. It is digital, it is off somewhere else that we can download it and then we put it down into paper. We need to write it down. So as a human being, we can be that antenna, that computer that download information from a high dimension, but usually only if we have a purpose. Just as we download information from Google when we have a purpose, when we want to know something specific. All right. Usually scientists who gain these knowledge or this insight that is beyond their lifetimes learning, they're able to download it because they have a certain mission. They want to increase humanity's knowledge in certain field. With Einstein, he wanted to understand gravity and light. Right? With Nikola Tesla, he wanted to understand electricity, magnetism. And so when you have a purpose, when you set an intention, and you get to the level of level 3 awareness and wisdom, then our vibrational energy frequency become a match for something higher. We access, we download it, and then when we go back down to level 1 and 2, our mind take over. We will write things down. We are able to speak it. We speak from the space of a higher intelligence. All right, do you guys get that? And it is always the case with these, it is always the case with these higher knowledge only comes from a state of emptiness, not from thinking. The scientists may think about the problem, they think about the problem, they think about a problem, they think about a problem, but they never get this insight in the process of solving the problem. It is usually through when they have given up, they have not given up, but they have set it down. Usually they go to sleep. And they reach a state of balance in their sleep or something like that. And then in the morning they wake up, they get a new insight. This insight never comes when they're trying on the board and the chalkboard and they're writing all the equation. Just imagine Einstein writing all these equations on a big blackboard. These insights don't come in the moment of using our mind, because when you're using our mind, we're at a lower energy frequency. It is only when we achieve a state of balance, we're at peace, that we're actually not thinking about the problem. We can set the intention, just set it there, set the intention, shoot it out into the universe, and then we let go. And when our energy vibration is appropriate, we don't know if there's another higher intelligence that choose to give it to us or not, but at least when we are energetically a match for it, then we can download those information. And it is usually used for a specific purpose for the betterment of mankind. That's the scientific stuff. That is the worldly knowledge kind of stuff. And then there is the total causal knowledge. But before that, let me remind everybody of the three perspectives when it comes to knowledge. So when it comes to human knowledge, we typically find ourselves looking at knowledge from the lens of worldly perspective, right? That's what scientists and engineers do. They focus on our world, our physical world, our material world, the worldly perspective. That knowledge is missing something. Okay, there's a W in there. When it comes to human knowledge, there is also an interest in the greater cosmological questions. Where does the soul come from? What is the purpose of humanity's existence? Where do we go from here when we die? Religion and spirituality help us answer those big cosmological questions. Sometimes those questions can be answered by a high power. People have reported getting messages from angels and spirits and things like that. Okay, we're not so interested in those cosmological questions so much in this philosophy. What we're really interested in is human life and experience. Okay, when it comes to human knowledge, this philosophy is focused on human life and experience. Questions such as, how do I achieve inner peace? What does happiness feels like? Right? What is honoring gratitude? How do I live a life of health and wealth and harmonious relationship? those are human life and experience. And whereas science and technology will deal with the worldly question, whereas religion and spirituality will help us deal with the greater cosmological questions, spiritual question, human life and experience can be answered with level 4 awareness and wisdom from what called total causal knowledge. Remember in the discussion on the operating principle of the subconscious mind, there are different seeds in our garden of the subconscious. There's a seed of affinity, which has to do with our attraction with people. And then there is a seed of knowledge. When we plant the seed of knowledge in the garden of our subconscious, over time, it would grow into a tree and it would bear fruit in our garden of subconscious. But with level 4, untaught knowledge, no teacher, where did that knowledge come from? And since science cannot explain it, we are forced to borrow the spiritual and religious perspective of the Buddhists and the Hindus. There is the idea of our having multiple lifetimes. There is the idea that maybe we have planted some knowledge in past lifetimes. Those knowledge have been cultivated, accumulated from lifetime to lifetime to lifetime. It has started to bear fruit. And then now we simply draw on it. We just pick the tree. And that tree rests inside our subconscious. And our total causal knowledge, right, cause and effect, the knowledge that we plant in the past lifetime, they accumulate by the law of cause and effect. They will grow into a certain kind of tree. And then now, when appropriate, when our vibrational energy frequency is appropriate, we can pick the fruit from our subconscious. And that subconscious is an accumulation of all the knowledge from all the past lifetime. That's the idea of total causal knowledge. Okay, knowledge is subjected to causality. Knowledge grows and accumulates through the process of cultivation. And when appropriate, when our energy, frequency, vibration is an appropriate match, when our inner state is high and balanced, then we can access it. And the way to access it is to interact with other people, because it is human experience. And by interacting with each other, we are actually opening each other's door to this untaught knowledge. Some of the stuff I'm sharing with you is taught, right? Taught to me by sages. What I'm sharing with you is taught. But by talking about the stuff that we are taught, we attain a state of peace. We attain a state of serenity and balance. And from then, further knowledge will come in. Right? Do you experience, have you guys experienced, you feel like, you have come understand this material a little bit more with a little bit more clarity? Maybe overnight, someday we just wake up and we just suddenly feel like, oh, okay, I have a greater in-depth understanding. And that is because we have activated and opened the door to your total causal knowledge. Okay? Total causal knowledge. And we can only achieve total causal knowledge by interacting with each other. That is the fastest way to unlock our storehouse of subconscious knowledge. Okay? And these are the knowledge that is related to human life and experience, about happiness, about health, about relationship, and even about finance. Okay? Total causal knowledge. And the way to access it, the way to download or draw from this storehouse of total causal knowledge is to set intention. All we got to do is set intention. Okay, I want to be happy. How do I be happy? I want to have a harmonious relationship with my spouse, my children. How do I become harmonious with my spouse and my children? How do I live a life of great health? How do I become holistically wealthy? We set the intention, we ask the appropriate question that align with our desire, and then we allow ourselves to reach a state of balance and positive. And when appropriate, when we are balanced, we are positive, our energy is high and ultra high. And so the answer will come to us. And it comes to us because we already know it. We already know it. It is in our subconscious. It is part of our total causal knowledge, part of our garden of subconscious that we have accumulated and cultivated through many, many lifetimes. So we can be pretty proud. It's okay to be a little bit proud of the fact that we are so knowledgeable. In fact, we may have been living so many lifetimes that stored within our subconscious is the totality of human knowledge about human life and experience. We may not know everything about science and the worldly stuff. We may not know everything about the religion and spirituality. Where does the soul come from? Where does it go? We might not know that stuff, but it is possible that we may already know everything there is to know about human life and experience. It is possible to know everything that there is to know about how to be happy. It is possible to know everything there is to know about how to experience peace, serenity. And so that brings us all the way back to wisdom. Okay. Oh, level 4. Any question about level 4? Let's talk about level 4, and then we'll level 5, and then we'll close it back up with materialization of wisdom. Any question about or any insight now that we talked about level 4? Does that make it more clearer about where some knowledge come from?
Yes, Frank.
Mm-hmm.
When you were saying, it clicked for me when you were saying that when we are in the when we calm, and our vibrational energy level is stable,
Mm-hmm.
that's where the energy come in, and that click with me. Thank you.
Yeah.
When we
Yeah.
balance.
When we are experiencing a state of balance, ultra high energy, then we can access knowledge that we did not seem to have learned in this lifetime, because those knowledge have been kept in the storehouse of our subconscious, which have been accumulated through many lifetimes.
Yes, thank you.
Right? So there's a benefit of level 3 awareness and wisdom. That's why we are trying to help everybody reach that state of awareness and wisdom. Not only the benefit of being serene, experience peace amidst all of life's circumstances, but we gain knowledge that we have already acquired. Okay? And when that happens, then life can be pretty simple. We don't have so much problem anymore.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Let's talk about level 5. Level 5. Okay, level 5. Okay. Level 5 is the state of inner awareness that is all encompassing. Okay, level 5 is a state of inner awareness that is all encompassing. Okay. Encompass, defining the person of wisdom. A person of level 5 wisdom is someone who has basically opened up all of their senses. The person of level 5 wisdom is someone who are no longer subjected or confined by space and time. Okay, so there's a word that we may have heard in the Western world: extra sensory perception. Ever heard of that? ESP, extra sensory perception. A person of level 5 awareness and a person of level 5 wisdom. An awareness is just having an extra sensory perception, that we can perceive things that somehow not limited to space and time. There are reports of people who are being able to see the future. People can prophesize. There are people who, upon meeting someone, knows about their past and they've never met the person before. They can tell another person about their past in this lifetime, and they can even tell another person's past lifetime. Extra sensory perception. There are people who, through scientific experiment, is placed in one room and can read a book that is hidden from their view in another room. They have knowledge that somehow transcend space and time. There are people who can see spirit. There are people who can heal other people from the distance. I have a teacher in the practice of energy healing who can heal people from the distance. A friend of mine is critically ill, and he's in a hospital, and the family is worried. They don't know what to do. The doctor is giving up, but a family member happened to also practice the art of energy healing. They call the master. The master just sat down in his room, whoever, we have no idea where he is, and he is able to use his mind to send healing energy to the patient, and the patient is able to wake up and get better. I have been privy to a little bit of this energy practice myself. I think last year or the year before, there was a day when my mother-in-law in Vietnam was having very high blood pressure. She has a lot of anxiety. And I asked her to sit down, and I was able to use my mind, send some positive energy, and I was able to help my mother feel better in Vietnam. And I'm just here in the United States. She can feel energy in her hand when I did that. Extrasensory perception is something that we can all achieve, but in our philosophy, we don't recommend that you try to open it up. Some people have a gift. They are considered part of a mission. If you feel like you have a mission to help people using extrasensory perception, then that's your calling. But usually people who practice these extrasensory perception don't quite have a normal life. They have a mission, and their lives are very different from other people. And even the value that they contribute to other people seem to be limited to that area of their life. Have you ever seen the documentary by a psychic who can help police, solve crime. That she can, identify locations of dead bodies and things like that. That's fine. But in this philosophy, we are trying to promote holistic health and holistic wealth. Focus on becoming holistically healthy and holistically wealthy. Focus on wisdom and attitude. Focus on character and integrity. Focus on physical vitality and capability, so that we can help many, many, many people also become healthy and wealthy. Okay? With level 5 awareness, many different people have different awareness. I have a teacher who can see ghosts. He was driving and he see a person step down from the sidewalk onto the street, and he had to slam on his brake. And when he looked again, there was nobody there. But instead, somebody else hit him in the back. So it's not a convenient, it's not a normal kind of life to be able to have extra sensory perception. However, that same teacher of mine can go into a house that is haunted and help the lost spirit go to the right place where they should be. That is his mission. Okay, so he can help lost spirit. People who become possessed with spirit and stuff like that, he can help, them resolve their issues. It is the same one who can, taught me how to heal from a distance. But those people have a special mission in life. They cannot help a person become rich. They cannot help a person become people of character and integrity and with total wealth. And that is just an awareness. Different people have tiny little pieces of different kind of awareness. Some people are spatial. Sometimes people are transcend time. But the only human being who is said to have completely opened all of his sensory perception and become all-encompassing, all-knowing, is Siddhartha Gautama, the Buddha, in the Buddhist tradition. Okay, no other human being have reported. If they did, they didn't tell us. If anybody else, if any other human being were able to open all of their extra sensory perception and becoming all-knowing and all-encompassing, they didn't tell us. The Buddha is the only human being who told us that he has. In the Christian tradition, certain the disciples of Jesus Christ were given the gift of healing. Okay, they can heal people. They can raise the dead. Even Peter is said to be able to walk on water. Okay, one day Peter saw Jesus. Peter was on the boat. He saw Jesus coming. Jesus was on the water, and somehow his energy, his vibrational energy frequency was a match for Jesus, and so he walked on water toward Jesus. But then he was not able to maintain it. As soon as his human nature kicks in, his analytical mind kicks in, his right or wrong kicks in, he realizes that he's walking on water, then he loses it and he falls into the water. So some human beings, we can temporarily access extrasensory powers, extrasensory perception. But in our philosophy, we don't recommend it. If anybody who has extrasensory perception and you don't know what to do with it, if you don't have a mission, then you can return to normal simply by setting intention. Just as a friend of mine who saw ghosts, he simply set the intention that I don't want to see ghosts anymore. I just want to be normal. He's willing to help people deal with their ghost issues, the haunted house, but he doesn't want to see them. So he's able to close that part of his visual perception. Yeah, as far as human beings concerned, only the Buddha is said to have been able to access it. Okay, because we don't get to live a very normal life, and the value that we create to people, they're not, in general, they're not very practical. It is better for humanity at this point in time to work toward holistic health and holistic wealth. When everybody become healthy and wealthy, when everybody experiences serenity, honoring gratitude, and magnanimity, then we can help each other rise to a new level of existence. All right, but that's all we're going to talk about level 5. Anyone who tried to pursue level 5 is not going to be able to experience it very simply. In fact, when we initiate the desire to access higher level knowledge, then we have fallen down to level 1 and 2. And so our vibrational energy frequency is low, or at least high, but not ultra high. Then we're not going to be able to access anything like that. And we may have little extrasensory power here and there, but we're not going to be able to access the totality of knowledge. So now that we have a conception, an information, a conceptual awareness of different levels of wisdom, we can say to be a people of wisdom. However, we wouldn't go around and telling people, "Oh, I'm now wise." We can't say I now have wisdom. I study wisdom, but I don't go around saying I have wisdom or I am wise. Because to say I'm wise is to fall into arrogance, and that burns our fortune very quickly. Okay, one of the matches that burns our fortune, or at least cover up our mountain of gold, is arrogance. And so to protect ourselves, to maintain our level of wisdom, to maintain our energy of wisdom, our merit wisdom merit, we maintain humility. If anybody asks, one day somebody might ask, "Hey, I noticed you've been, you seem to be a little bit more at peace lately. You seem to be a little calmer. You seem to be a little cooler." Don't say, "Oh yeah, I have wisdom." No, and say, "Well, I have learned to proactively select and cycle through different attitudes. I know when it is appropriate to initiate serenity. I know that when I encounter other people, I can initiate magnanimity. I know that when I got nothing better to do, I always look around and finding place and people and things to honor and be grateful for. What I have is the knowledge and understanding about serenity, magnanimity, and honor and gratitude. And I'm able to proactively choose which one at different time. And that's why you see me as being calmer and cooler. I also learn about different levels of awareness associating with different levels of wisdom. I know about wisdom level 1, which represent knowing right and wrong, good or bad. I understand wisdom level 2. I take responsibility for my inner world, right? Taking responsibility for the seed within me, my inner state, and thereby externally, you can see me as being calm and cool. And if anybody curious, we can invite them. If we are a mentor level, we can teach them, or we can invite them to one of the courses. If anybody say, "Hey, you seem to be, more joyful lately." Okay, we don't say, "Oh, okay, we have wisdom." No, we say, "Well, I do feel more joy. I do feel happier. That is because I have learned to simplify life's problem. I have learned to simplify life's problem. In fact, life is so simple. There's really only 4 areas to worry about. My inner world, my health, my relationship, my finance. That's it. And they are all interrelated. And I have been able to discover that, oh yeah, there are at least 3 levels of awareness. And I can apply those 3 levels of awareness to my inner world, my health, my relationship, and my finance. And because I have been able to simplify my life, I can experience joy. From simplicity comes joy. It is a simplicity, it is a simplification of life's problems that has helped me experience joy. right? Right. This is materialization of wisdom. People may not know that we have awareness. Who can tell when we're in level 1 or level 2 or level 3? Nobody can tell. Nobody can tell when we're in level 1, level 2, or level 3. They might not even know which attitude we're at: serenity, magnanimity, honor, and gratitude. But we begin to manifest materially as simplicity and joy. If the people find us to be more joyful, we say, yeah. I feel myself being more joyful. Why? Because I have learned to simplify life's problem. There's not much of a problem. And once I've learned to simplify life's problem, not only do I not have to solve problem, I simply rise above life's problem. And that's why life is joyful. And because I have rise above life's problem, I find it to be more simple to trust people. It's okay for me to be more trusting because life is so simple. And I find it pleasurable and joyful to trust people. And because I can trust people, I find that life tends to be light. So there's a sense of lightness. Before I understand wisdom, before I study wisdom, before I understand the philosophy, things tend to be difficult and heavy. I have to drag myself out of bed. But when I simplify life's problem, everything has a sense of lightness to it. Okay, there's no problem that we can't solve. In fact, we don't need to solve life's problem. I just apply the principle of light. I experience serenity, magnanimity, honoring gratitude, and life is light. There's a sense of lightness within me. And if I want to practice, you can tell the people that, oh yeah, when I study wisdom, one of the things that in the wisdom course, what they taught me is 6 golden words in action. Okay, what that say is, if we want to succeed or we want to do anything, do it simply. If we want to do anything, do it joyfully. If we have to do anything at all, do it trustingly. Do it lightly. If we want to succeed, do it regularly. And finally, if I do anything, do it wholeheartedly. And I just repeat. If I do anything simply, joyfully, trustingly, lightly, regularly, and wholeheartedly, then my life becomes simple, joyful, trusting, and light. And that is the essence of wisdom. Just ask anybody whom you consider to be wise. They have a way of simplifying all life's problems. They have a way of finding joy in all situations. They trust other people, and they just kind of they carry themselves lightly. They even take themselves lightly. They may even make fun of themselves. take themselves lightness. And that is the materialization of wisdom. So before, wisdom is this intangible, this vague thing. Right? Nobody can really put a finger on it. We think that wisdom is reserved for the wise, the highly learned people, the sages. But now we have simplified wisdom so that any regular old human being can experience it, live it, and materially package it and give it to another person. Like what we're doing here. We can materially package it and give it to another person. That is a materialization of wisdom. A sharing like this is the process by which we materially package and give it to another person. We share it on a conceptual, informational level. We share it on an energetic level, maintain the energy of serenity, magnanimity, honoring gratitude. And we talk about how simplicity can lead to joy, how trust can lead to lightness. What do you think? Do you feel more simple? Is life more simple now ever since we started studying?
Yes.
Yeah. Is there more joy in your life now?
More joy in my life. Yes, for sure.
Are you more trusting of people and yourself?
Yeah. And I know when to let things go. I was going to ask about the level 5 thing.
Go ahead.
Sometimes level 5, they are able to let go of everything. Like for level 4, they know the wisdom. They don't get super high frequency, is what I'm saying. They don't stay at that level. They know when to go down and up. Is that correct? If you stay at the high frequency, that could be
Then you
problem.
don't exist in this world.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't exist in this world.
Yeah.
Yeah. When the Buddha decides to not stay in this world, he goes to that
Yeah.
space.
Okay.
He becomes emptiness. He becomes, he's not in part of this, earth anymore. But before he leaves, when he's still in human form, he has to rotate among the different levels. He has to communicate on a human level. He has to speak human language. He has to use right and wrong. He has to use good or bad. He has to use, all three of those. He maintained a great deal of magnanimity and tolerance for other people, right? Never blame anybody.
Mhm.
But when he fully embody that state of total encompassing knowledge, then we don't see him anymore. Yeah.
Oh, he does not go to a future life anymore either, because
Huh?
so he
Yeah,
will not,
as far as we understand, he does not
that will be
reincarnate. Yeah, he does not. As far as we understand, the Buddha does not reincarnate.
Yes.
Okay. There are other enlightened individuals, other sages, awakened people who are still somewhat attached to humanity, and so they reincarnate, and we call them the Bodhisattva. That is just a religious term. Okay, the Bodhisattva is somebody who already experienced enlightenment, but not fully ready to let go. They're still attached to our suffering. They come back and they help raise us to their level. Those are considered the Bodhisattva.
They feel they can help more people before
Right.
they go.
Right. Whereas the Buddha Siddhartha, his helping of us is the Dharma, or the lessons, the philosophy, the lesson that he has left behind. That is his way of leaving his legacy. That is his way of helping people. But he does not. He's not interested in directly helping us.
Mhm.
And in many ways, by not being here, those sages help us more. Same thing with Jesus Christ. When he was alive, he could only help a small group of people. But when he died and he rise and he is no longer with us, somehow in his absence, his teaching spread faster. Because when they're alive, people tend to coagulate again, coagulate and they're attracted to the person, the identity of a person, and it's limited. But when the individual, the leader, the Bodhisattva, or the Jesus Christ, when they are no longer with us, what remain is the idea, the concept, the energy. Then that can spread, and that can be maintained, from lifetime to lifetime. Yeah, and essentially, the goal is to return us to the state of serenity, magnanimity, honor, and gratitude. Speaking of which, I am honored by Ji Hang. Thank you for joining our Zoom today. Would you like to share anything? Well, we're pretty much at the end of our sharing today. We're just chatting. We went through different levels of wisdom. We talked about level 4 and level 5 today. We talked about simplicity, joy, trusting, and lightness. And interestingly enough, if we can materialize wisdom. Okay, so now let me get that big house again. So what we have just done in this past couple of weeks, we have completely lit the candle of wisdom. The candle of wisdom has the energy of wisdom, which is attitude, serenity, magnanimity, honor, and gratitude. Right? Last couple of weeks we talked about attitude. We have fully lit up the candle of attitude. Guess what? With the completion of wisdom, the manifestation of the material aspect of wisdom, joy, simplicity, trust, lightness, we have begun to light up the candle of character. Joy, simplicity, trust, lightness, those are elements of a person of wholesome character. And next week, we're going to be talking about character. The third candle in our house of holistic health and a house of holistic wealth. Right? How does it feel to become rich in wisdom? How does it feel to become rich in attitude, rich in character? And that's what we're doing. And I really enjoy the fact that, Ron, you are able to link the knowledge together. Right? When in your sharing of your lesson, insight, and realization, you're able to speak the language. You're able to link the different levels of wisdom. You're using the vocabulary, wisely and appropriately. It is a sign of a transformed mind in terms of intellect and wisdom. Yeah, it's exciting to see Ron coming along.
Yeah, it takes a minute for me to get the language in there, but I got to think a little bit. But yeah, it's coming. It's a good feeling too.
Yeah. Okay, all right.
Yes. Well, thank you, Frank. I appreciate everything, and your sharing is wonderful. Thank you.
Okay, so we'll see you tomorrow morning where we lightly get out of bed and lightly exercise.
Try to get up.
Yeah, see if we can start a little early, online on time. Okay, yeah, I still have to hit the snooze button, but see if we can start at 4 or something like that. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Alrighty.
Thank you.
You take
Bye.
care. Okay, bye-bye. Good night.